How's it going, guys? Chad with Colorado Giants, April 20th. Time to start my pumpkin seeds. I did a video on how I actually prepared the seeds, but unfortunately, yet again, I had some microphone difficulties, and that didn't work out the way I had planned. But as you can see, all of my seeds are filed. I use a little bit of sandpaper, and I file the edges down through the first layer a little bit, in the second layer. Don't go into the third layer of the seed. And then I am soaking them for about an hour, hour and a half in Mark's Mix's Root Keeper. And then I put a pinch of Azos in there. So what I'm going to do is now mix the soil up for my actual seed starts, for the real seeds. But that will require me to murder the seeds that we had started already, which are looking pretty darn good. So let's get to the business at hand of murdering these poor pumpkin plants. So let's check them out. I want to do a kind of a little bit of an autopsy. I want to save these cups because I'm going to use those. So roots are looking pretty good. Yeah, so real thorough root structure on that. Should have probably let these dry a little bit. But we'll work with what we got. Don't want to leave a ton of the actual roots in there. I am kind of purposefully taking some roots and putting them in there, but not a lot. I mainly want to harvest the soil with the mycorrhiza already growing in it. So that's one. Root structure on this one looks, wow, that one's a lot better. Lots of really fuzzy roots, super fuzzy roots. That's a good looking one. You can see roots throughout the root ball. Very good, that's what we're after. Lots of roots equals lots of plant equals big pumpkin. That's the plan anyway. So shake off most of the soil. And that's what you're left with. So I won't bore you with that. I got 9 more to do. We'll put it on pause real quick. All right, and we're back. Gonna do one last one. Impressive root structure on that guy. Very symmetrical. Wow, look at all those roots on that. That's pretty darn impressive. For a plant that's about 7 days old or so. And then the other thing that's really impressive with this root structure on these things is just how fuzzy they are, the fine fibrous roots, which is really what you're after. So this little plant has all these roots on it. And then you can see, just the roots themselves, how fine of fibers they are as they just cling to the dirt. So not too bad. Not too bad. That's really what I'm looking for. So pleasantly surprised by that. Now what we're gonna do is, because I have more seedlings than I had last time, I'm gonna get myself another bag of the Black Gold organic seedling mix. Throw that in. So that's roughly 2 bags. And actually I have like a kind of a half bag of another seed starting mix. I'll throw in there. This one has a little bit more perlite. Throw that, a little bit of that in there. And then what I'm going to do is add all of my sample stuff. So at the GPC Expo, they talked about engineered biochar. So this is basically apartments. This is homes for all of the beneficial mycorrhiza. So this is not a fertilizer. It's just a carbon that beneficial bacteria will live in. Because I don't want to fertilize. I'm not adding any fertilizer to this mixture. I'm just adding biological stuff. And then in this cup right here is about, I don't know, a couple dozen of these of each variety. Oops, I get them in frame. There we go. So great white. I'm a real sucker for the samples. So whenever there's samples somewhere, I always grab a handful. And then there's a couple little 1 ounce packages of Azos in here. Again, not fertilizers, just beneficials. So I'm adding all that in. That's in the mix. And then another thing I'm going to do, because again, this was in the sample stuff. So we have some Mammoth P, a liquid. If you ever use Mammoth, fun fact, I think it's called Mammoth because it smells like Mammoth P. If Mammoth P had a smell, this is pretty gnarly stuff. So do your best. Don't get it on you. As I open that up, there we go. Spread that around. Okay, that's done, and then another form of mycorrhiza, some sort Tiberius original, plant rooting rhizobacteria. So whatever that is, it's a whole bunch of bacillus type of bacteria. So again, that's just beneficials. This soil was a little dry, so it needs watering anyway. So I add that in there. What the measurements on these are, I'm not really sure. I quantify this as a 1 glug. The Mammoth was like a half a glug, and everything else was mini sample packages. One more thing. Because I don't know how fresh that other stuff was, I'm going to add a scoop of my mycorrhiza that I know is good. Scooper's gone, so a little handful there. And then last again rather, is a scoop of Mark's Mixes, his beneficials. So that's like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 7 different varieties of beneficial bacteria that are in my seed starting mixture. So all that's left to do is turn it on. We'll be back. All right, and through the miracle of time, we are back. I don't think you can see it in frame. Let's pan up a little bit. Nice rainy day. Will probably turn to snow later. One of our crazy Colorado spring days. So the soil is mixed thoroughly. The seeds have soaked for about an hour. One of the things I'm going to change, if you watched the other video, was I wasn't really happy with how the seeds germinated in the incubator this year, since I paid a lot more attention. I've paid way more attention to seedlings this year than in all other years combined. So I'm trying to get everything off to a good start. So what I'm going to do is I have these here little mini greenhouses. Close up the vents. This is going to go on a heat mat that's set at about 80 degrees. I'll put some water in this corrugated tray so it stays nice and humid, and hopefully I don't have to water them for the duration. So I marked everything. Don't forget, marking everything is very important. So one of the 2000 Pingarees. Start this. I really like this seed. I'm hoping it's going to be, you know, the one this year. So I put it crown down. Maybe water in a little bit of that Mark's juice. Ooh, looks like I got a package from FedEx. Or rather UPS. So let's see. I'm going to use these cups after the fact too. So 1718 Seha. That one's going in. How's it going? Good, thanks. How's it going, partner? Looks like Emily's been shopping on Amazon again. Okay, so that was the 1718. Watered that a little bit in. He was very generous with his seeds when I sent him the request, so he sent me several of these. I'm going to start 3. This is a great looking pumpkin, a 1317 crossed with the 2230 Wallace, I believe. Was this one? A little beneficial bacteria watering there. Okay. 2043 Clements is going in. This is the 2145 crossed with the 1947. I like this one as well because everybody likes the 2145, as do I, but the 1947 was one of my best growing plants. So hopefully it will be a nice big pumpkin, you know, or a good cross for me in my climate. 1662 and a half tobacco was one of my most aggressive growing plants, secondary to the 1947. Lost that pumpkin due to yellow vine. The main vine on that was as big around as these cups. It was crazy. Well, let's see. All we're missing is the 1937 Urana. And I push this soil. This is a fairly decent compaction of the soil in this. I don't want it, you know, I don't want there to be like no resistance. I want the seed to have something to hold on to, or the roots. And I see a lot of people just like, it's just air, which I don't think that's a bad thing, but I want something for my roots to grow through. It's not like super dense by any stretch of the imagination, but just there's nothing there. There is some resistance. And then the 260 Clements watermelon. So the RMGBG Club Grow of the Year is watermelon. If you come in first place, you get $300. So I'm starting some watermelons. So that's it for this one. Like I said, I'll put some water in here. These are going to go inside in my grow tent with the heat mats on it. And that's the start of my season and how I start my seeds. And yeah, hopefully you guys are off to a good start as well. Get out there, grow pumpkin.